Let's switch it up a bit. For the past few episodes, we've been drawing pirate crews. But this time, we're sailing to the other side. We're diving into the world of Marines. Out of your amazing submissions, I've selected 7 characters. 1 Admiral, 2 Vice Admirals, and 4 Captains. All part of corrupt factions buried deep within the justice system. Their mission is a buster call. And if you want your character featured in the next episode, stick around till the end. Like and subscribe. First on this mission, meet Dampier, the first Marine captain assigned to the east coast of Terraria Buster Call, requested by Pretty Fanco. Unlike most Marines, Dampier didn't join this operation out of duty. He volunteered, but not for justice. He's an obsessive collector of ancient artifacts and antiques. For him, this mission isn't about erasing knowledge, it's about stealing it, and making sure no one questioned how he got it. The island of Terraria was the target. Its people, aware of the world government's true intentions, stood ready to fight. Dampier was the first to land on the east coast, calm and polite, walking straight up to an elder. "I'm only here for one thing," he said. "Hand over the artifact and no one has to get hurt." The elder laughed in his face, and that's when it happened. With no hesitation, Dampier transformed into a towering beast. He had eaten the human fruit modeled Sasquatch, gaining immense brute strength and wild feral instincts. Coated in barely controlled armament Haki, his massive fists crushed the elder in a single blow. The villagers, terrified, surrendered everything. He walked away with his prize. Dampier, the Sasquatch. Next, we move to the west coast of Terraria, where Aaron, the second Marine captain, make his move, requested by Daikoro. On the surface, Aaron is a respected Marine captain, calm, calculated, and even praised by his superiors. But beneath the uniform lies a surgeon with a dark reputation, one whispered about in the underworld. To some, he's known as a miracle doctor. To others, he's a butcher with a government badge. Aaron and his unit marched into the village without a warning. His command was clear: take every healthy villager alive, put them on the ship. The townsfolk resisted, but the Marines outnumbered them 10 to 1. In a desperate charge, a devil fruit user tried to stop Aaron, but with a single tap of his fearsome stone cane, the power was nullified. Aaron, unfazed, used his mastery of Rokushiki technique, and in one swift motion, he ripped the man's heart with surgical precision. Because Aaron's true mission wasn't justice, it was harvesting organs. He sells them to high-end clinics and hospitals across the world, all under the radar, all under the name of justice. Aaron, the organ donor. Next, we head to the north coast of Terraria. Meet Snippet, the third Marine captain, requested by Baghead Entertainment. Snippet isn't here for duty. She's here because she's bored. A former resident of Sabodi Archipelago, she once owned a slave and tortured him just for fun. To her, pain is entertainment. That's the real reason she volunteered for this mission. As she walked into the village alone, dozens of villagers stand in her path. Armed, scared, but ready, she gives them a smile, and without warning, she tosses a bunch of knives into the crowd, hitting random targets. But that's just a distraction, because once she's close enough, she activates her wound fruit, a devil fruit that allows her to inflict wounds just by touch. No blade, no bullets, just pain. She walks through the chaos like a ghost, her hands grazing people, and with each touch, their flesh tears open, limbs fail, screams echo. But there's a catch. Every wound she inflicts temporarily reflects back onto her, yet she doesn't care. The satisfaction she gets, the sight of suffering, is worth every drop of her own blood. Snippet, the masochist. Now, landing on the south port of Terraria is the 4th Marine Captain. Meet Couta, requested by Jason Mitchell. Couta is a shipwright fanatic, obsessed with building the perfect marine ship using only the rarest and strongest material. He scours island for anything valuable, But don't let his passion fool you. Couta is cruel, a merciless bully who treats his own subordinates like disposable tools. He calls them punies. And if anyone dares to fall behind or show weakness, he executes them on the spot. To him, the world has no place for the lazy. When he landed on Tartaria, his eyes didn't go to the people. They went to the village walls, crafted from a rare indigenous metal, stronger than standard alloys, perfect for his next ship. He immediately barked orders. Strip every house, loot every beam, every nail, every ounce of metal. Couta's subordinates scrambled to obey out of fear, because anyone who questioned him was killed. Couta the Proud. Next up is the first Vice Admiral assigned to the Terraria Buster Call. Meet Jaka, requested by Nilan. Jaka is feared throughout the seas not just for his rank, but for his unmatched mastery of Armament Haki and the terrifying power of the Rage Fruit. This devil fruit lets him convert his anger into raw physical strength, but with one massive flaw: he can't control it. Jaka is notorious in the Marines for his explosive temper. The moment his rage peaks, his mind blacks out, and what follows is pure carnage. Before even arriving on Terraria, his ship broke down. Furious at the delay, and even angrier that the Vice Admiral might beat him there, he snapped. With zero hesitation, he smashed his own ship, drowning his entire crew into chaos. Then, like a meteor, he launched himself across the sea, crashing down in the center of Terraria, obliterating homes and civilians on impact. Villagers fled in terror as his manic laughter echoed through the island, his face glowing red, his sanity long gone. Jaka, the Red Knuckle. Now, let's talk about Roswald, the second Vice Admiral of this mission, requested by Samuel. Roswald was born in the East Blue, a quiet odd child with a disturbing calmness. But everything changed the day his home island was wiped out by a buster call. From afar, he saw Admiral Akainu standing stoically aboard the battleship, watching the destruction like it was a routine. Something snapped in Roswald, not fear, but admiration. He didn't hate the destruction, he envied the authority. He wanted that kind of power, so he joined the Marines, climbed the ranks. Now, years later, he'd been granted Vice Admiral status, assigned to Terraria with another Admiral leading the operation. But Roswald isn't here to follow orders. He's watching the Admiral closely, plotting. He wants that seat. And if an accident happened in this chaos, so be it. He wields a black-coated Haki trident and possesses an unnerving form of observation Haki. He can sense and analyze agony itself, activating it only when his trident is impaling someone, just to savor their suffering, like a twisted man. Roswald, the Shallow One. And finally, the man leading this mission, the Admiral, Johnny Love, requested by Sidist. When Johnny was just a boy, he was kidnapped by a pirate crew of women. For 2 long years, he was beaten, humiliated, and mocked, until they fed him what they called a useless devil fruit, the flower fruit, a logia that turns him into flowers. Then they threw him overboard to die. He survived, rescued by the Marines, but instead of healing, his hate grew deeper, especially towards the women who once saved him. He was made to run errands, clean desks, barked at by officers, including the female captain he had admired. That hatred became obsession, and that obsession became power. Johnny mastered his flower fruit, transforming his body into blooming petals that emit paralytic fumes, unleash hallucinogenic pollen, and sprout thorny vines as deadly as swords. His Conqueror's Haki has a twisted flair. It manipulates only women, bending their emotions just so he can crush them. On Terraria, Johnny personally landed to hunt women himself, and to the rest of the Marines, he gave one order: whoever kills the least will be executed. Johnny, the Lady Lover. And now, I present to you the Corrupt Marines of Terraria Buster Call mission. Next episode, I'm looking for a pirate crew made up of pure Haki users. No devil fruits. See you in the next one. Peace out!